Greetings. My name is Jim Wickens from nfldraftfanatics.com, and this podcast and video is going to be a brief demonstration of the nfldraftfanatics.com mock draft simulator with a special option called FANATIC mode. So FANATIC mode is designed to ensure unique mock drafts. So if you love doing mock drafts like I do, you go to a simulator and eventually most of the mock drafts begin to look the same. It's either the same player in round one, the same player in round two. You kind of get the idea. The purpose of FANATIC mode is to be the opposite of that behavior. No matter what happens in one mock draft, the second mock draft is guaranteed to be unique. It will not let you select the same players, and we'll talk about that as we go through. So we're going to do 5 unique 4-round mocks for the Rams. So the way that you would do that is you say, okay, Rams, I want to do a 4-round mock. And then there's this button right here. This is FANATIC mode right here. Okay, so I have to flip this on. I'm going to set it to 5. We're going to do 5 unique Los Angeles Rams mock drafts. Okay, so Rams, 4 rounds, FANATIC mode on, set to 5. We're going to start. Okay, so the first mock draft is going to be like any mock draft you've done on nfldraftfanatics.com or any other simulator. The entire player board's available. The Rams need QB, offensive tackle, edge. So QB, offensive tackle, edge. And if we look, Joe Alt would be a good pick. And he's at the top of their player board. So I'm going to go ahead and pick him. So that was the first round pick and the first mock. And I'm going to try to get a little bit more creative with a couple of my other picks. So, for example, linebacker in round 2. So Bethune is currently 102 on their draft card. I'm going to go ahead and pick Bethune. Okay. And every single time you pick a player at nfldraftfanatics.com, they move up the player board. Now, Mondin may or may not move off of 102, but he increased in value as a result of me picking him. Okay, so the Rams also need offensive tackle. Belton is close to the top. And let's see. I haven't picked a quarterback yet. And it appears as though the Rams have no 4th-round pick. So I'm only going to be able to make 3 picks, 1st, 2nd, 3rd round. They have no 4th-round pick. Okay, so notice that the simulator makes Joe Alt go before the Rams pick in the next mock. And you're going to see that theme for mocks 2, 3, 4, and 5. It won't let me pick the same player. I cannot pick Joe Alt anymore. It will not let me. Okay, so that's what we mean by a unique mock. So out of this group, I would say, Mims fits that positional need, and he's 10th on the draft card. So just pointing out that Mims is 10th. Okay. So let's look at what linebackers are available. So I also like the linebacker out of Notre Dame. Okay. He's 104 on the draft card right now. So picking him may move him off of that spot. And I'll show you how we will figure that out at the end. And then Anthony Belton, which is who I took last time in the 3rd round, is taken. So what QB, safety, or edge are there? QB, safety, edge. We'll go Jalen Milroe, Carson Beck. He's 70 on the draft card right now. Okay, so I've done my 2nd of 5 unique mock drafts. right? We're 5 minutes in. I've already done 2 mock drafts, and we have 3 more to go. So when it comes time for the Rams pick, it will not let me pick any of the players I have already picked. Okay. So I have to look at the player board and ask, well, who did I pick? So Fuaga is currently 20th. He fits a positional need. I'm going to pick him. Okay. Round 2. I see Kitchens there. That would be a good pick. Fits a need. Definitely a good player. Fell to the Rams in round 2. And then their last pick would be Pratt, and Pratt is 47 at the time I picked. Okay, so now I have done 3 unique mock drafts. Again, once you pick somebody, the simulator makes that player disappear from your player board. You won't be able to pick them anymore. I have it set to 5. So I have Fanatic mode set to 5. If you set Fanatic mode to 8, I can pretty much assure you that by mock 6, 7, and 8, you're really going to be scratching your head as to, can I find a player that fits the value of the pick? So the player board is looking a little bit thin, but there should still be plenty of offensive tackle, edge, and quarterbacks. And like, for example, J.J. McCarthy is currently 12th. I'm going to go ahead and pick him, and he will probably be higher than 12 when we're done. Typically, when you pick somebody in round 1, if they're not at the top of the draft card, they will move up in value. Typically, that's not always the case. An edge fell in round 1. Some people have in round 2. Some people have a first round grade on JT. So I'm definitely picking him as a value pick there in round 2. So that is some of the advantages of Fanatic mode, is once in a while you are going to see a player drop who you may not otherwise expect, because the simulator is forcing other players to be picked earlier. Okay, and then confirm the safeties in round 3. Ooh, not my favorite round 3 safety board. Is there an off one? I meant offensive tackle, turn safety off. Any offensive tackle I like here in round 3? I don't think so. I definitely like Jamari Thrash in round 3. So again, I had to kind of scratch my head there as to what players on that board do I have a 3rd round value on. Now, your valuation of the player may be different than mine, but because the players that I took in the prior mocks had been removed, the player board gets thin, and it's going to challenge you. And that was part of the design of Fanatic mode, is to challenge the mock drafter, give you the ability to try to come up with a unique mock when the player boards are a little bit altered. Okay, so now we are doing the 5th of 5 unique mock drafts. And it won't let me pick the players that I've already picked. So I have to ask myself, what offensive tackle, edge, or quarterback, and we can also look at safety. Those would be the positions. And I see DeJean, and he is 37th on the Rams player board. So I'm going to go ahead and pick DeJean, and he is probably going to move up in value there. So I'll prove that to you here once we do the next 2 picks. I'll show you how we figure that out. Did they move up? So round 2, I'm confirming the team needs. We did safety. So is there a quarter? Yeah, Quinn Ewers. Okay, so there was a quarterback there that was not as difficult as I thought it would be. But the round 3 player board is getting pretty thin. Like players that I would say, like, which of these players do we see still going on day 2? Stackhouse, maybe. Sawyer. Definitely like Sawyer. And fits a position of need for the team. Okay, so it's going to finish the simulation, and then we're going to go look at the team needs and look at the player board for the Rams. So it'll give us the graphic for the mock draft over on the left. Almost done. There we go. Okay, so there's our graphic for the mock draft. Let's go take a look at what I did. So I'm going to go to team needs, and I'm opening this up in a different window. And let me show you what it did. So we're going to look at every single player that I picked. And like Bethune, so we'll scroll down to the Rams. And every team, when you look at their needs, there's a player list on the far right. I'm going to click that player list, and we're going to look at the Rams player list. Okay? So notice Joe Alt was number 1. He was number 1 when I picked him. He was the top player on the board, right? So this shows us that. Let's look up Bethune. Okay? He's 30th. I believe he was in the 70s or 80s at the time that I picked him. I don't remember exactly. Okay? Let's look up Mims. Mims is 6th. I believe he was like 8th or 10th at the time I picked him. Let's look up Marist. Okay, 31. He was definitely further down the draft card. He was not in the 30s. I venture to say he was in the hundreds, but I don't remember his exact rank. Okay. Fuaga. Fuaga, I think, was 10th at the time I picked him. He's 8th on the draft card now, so he moved up. Kitchens. Okay, is 16th on the draft card now. I believe he was 37 at the time that I picked him. J.J. McCarthy. Okay, is 7th on the draft card. I don't remember where he was at the time I picked him. I want to say it was 10 or 11, and he moved up to 7th. DeJean. Wasn't he 37? He's now 10th. Okay, so notice that the players that you pick move up the board. What happens when they move up? It means that they're more likely to be picked by the Rams when somebody else is doing a mock draft. So if somebody comes in for any of the other 31 NFL teams, and you see the Rams take DeJean, or you see the Rams take Fuaga, the players that I picked at the top, I was the one that did that because I did this demonstration in Fanatic mode. If you want to influence the Rams board, you can come in, you can do your own Rams mock drafts, and there's a recency effect. So until somebody comes in and does another Rams mock, my Rams picks win, but the next person that comes in, they can trump my picks. The person that comes in after you, they're going to trump yours. And that's going to add some variety to the player boards and make the drafts at nfldraftfanatics.com significantly more diverse and random than other mock draft simulators. And that's the general idea for the design of our site. My name is Jim Wickens. You can find me on Twitter at nfldraftfanatic. There's no I in fanatic on my Twitter. You can like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel has several demonstrations of specific mock draft functionality This was a demonstration of Fanatic mode, which guarantees unique mock drafts every time. There's other videos on what is a first round challenge, what is a second round challenge. Check out our wide receiver episode. Check out our defensive line episode. We've covered every positional group except quarterbacks and tight ends up to this point of the draft season. I look forward to hearing your feedback on the simulator. I look forward to you engaging in NFL Draft Fanatics social media content. And if there's something you want to see, tweet us. Let us know. Let us know what you think, good or bad. The social media interaction is part of the lifeblood of having your own mock draft simulator. So tag me. If you do a mock draft, tag me. And if you take the time to tag me, I will take the time to comment or ask you a question back. Thank you so much. I'm Jim Wickens. I hope you have a great day.